that.
Yeah. But that does remind me of one other point. Not a plot hole, but I genuinely dislike this about Korra because I felt like it broke the whole spirit of what Avatar stood for. Was when she loses her connection to every past Avatar. Like, I was like, what the hell?
Oh, that hurt.
That led to some of the coolest moments in The Last Airbender. You know, where Kyoshi and Roku actually take on their own forms through Aang, and they show so much. And then I was like, this
Helped her a lot of
idiot
growth
lost
with Aang.
everything.
But
When
that's
does
just
this happen?
when they
She
get
al-
disappointed at her, like she loses her connection. Remember, she can't
Aang-
access the Avatar
Aang
world
often
anymore.
calls
When
upon
Rava
previous
dies, when
avatars.
Rava
But then
dies,
that's
she loses
temporary.
her.
But
No,
that's
she loses. She permanently loses her connection to all the past avatars. She can't get it back. So even
I
the
mean, but then she does go into the Avatar state, so
she can go to
hasn't
the
lost her
avatar
connection.
state,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
she can't.
So
she
she
can't
hasn't
talk
lost
to the
connection
previous avatars.
She can't
That has
talk
been-
to the
Okay,
previous
so-
ones,
yeah,
right?
The
Remember.
cycle was broken.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cycle
Yeah, so-
breaks completely.
I mean, I think just her like communication was halted. I don't think her
Her communication
like,
with
that
the
she lost
previous
connection
one.
because if she can go into the Avatar state, that means she is still connected to the other avatars.
But no. So that's the thing. She can go into the state, but she technically becomes the first avatar of the new cycle.
Does she or
So
does she?
she is
does she become
permanently
only the last
severed.
avatar? No,
Wait, that does that mean that all the previous avatars, that whole state is like gone for
Yeah,
good?
it's
Like
gone.
it's
She
never
can't
back.
talk
to
Like
them
she's
at
the
all.
first.
Permanently severed. Yeah, she can't.
Oh,
she
so
can't
she-
talk to any of them ever
So
again.
other future avatars will only see her.
Yeah, future avatars will only see her. That's true.
That's what I'm wondering.
Hey, but don't they have
said
a
she
part
broke the
when-
entire cycle? So will there be a new avatar after her?
Yes, they
death?
will because they
Yeah.
got back Rava. Rava comes back to life,
Oh, yeah.
continuing the cycle. If Rava was dead, the cycle would have stopped completely.
They have a scene in a temple, right, where they see the.
Yeah,
where
they
she
show the
sees
statues
other-
just
of the
crumbling
other
one by
avatars.
one by
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
That's because
that
he
was when it
loses
happened.
her
Yeah.
connection to literally all
So
the
you
avatars.
don't like that the writer made that choice? to
I do
that.
not like it at all. God damn it.
She's basically having a spiritual headache where she sees all the fucking avatars from like centuries before, and all of them just
No,
start
like
vanishing, and the
the-
statues shatter in front of her.
No, another thing is like when you go into the avatar state. This was another thing that was changed between the Last Airbender and Korra. The Last Airbender said that the avatar state is where you have the combined experience of all the past avatars, leading you to have a lot more power and a lot more finesse in the way you bend and the amount you can
Yeah.
bend. That's how you can control all four elements. But in Korra, it becomes that when you go into the avatar state, you actually have a connection, direct connection with Vatu, with Rava. I forgot her. Rava. You have a connection with Rava, and that's what helps you become that powerful. So
Yeah.
by losing the connection to the past avatars, you're losing like literal generations and generations of wisdom and like problem solving in general. Like,
Yeah, Aang basically became who he was because he had to consult people like Kyoshi and Roku, and was like, "Yo,
Yeah, but
calm
we
down.
did.
This shit
we
happens,
did
things like this happens. You have
yeah.
to just take it cool."
We did see that we did see that drastically affect Korra. Like she struggled like for a couple of episodes. I think for a whole book. I think. To
yeah,
get
they
that
show a
shit right.
struggle well. The
Yeah.
struggles of Korra are really
She
well
was
shown,
like-
where
yeah,
she's
she was like-
human.
Yeah, like no, even she felt the struggle of losing the connection to the avatars. Like
Yeah, I was like, what? Why would
Yeah.
you do that? Why?
couldn't for a while. She
Yeah.
couldn't even become she couldn't go into the state,
Yeah.
right? Because of that.
That's like Naruto losing Kurama all over again. Like, why have
I
the
mean, okay,
series go
but
on
then
after that?
I mean, here's one thing though. Yeah, I do get that her like losing her connection. I think at the end of book 2, if I'm not wrong, is it is a very pivotal moment for the whole series. But again, like if you think about it, in the circumstances that she was in, like Rava was like literally beaten out of Korra. Like
Yeah.
it was something that was like she was in the most like in the
Vulnerable
worst situation possible, and like Rava was like completely beaten out of Korra. So I don't think that Korra losing connection to the avatar state is like I would say a reflection of like Korra's weakness. It's just like that moment for that character is what led to this situation. And this actually, yes, as sad as it is, because yeah, we won't see Aang again, we won't see Kyoshi, and there are all these avatars who we would love to see again and learn more about their stories. But also this puts the narrative at a very interesting point where you can start fresh. So that has, like, in the way of a story, this has a lot of potential, which actually makes sense for what happened there. Had this not made sense for the battle that took place in the spirit realm at the time of harmonic convergence, yes,
Yeah.
it would be terrible. But I think the reason why Korra gets hate for losing the avatar state is simply like nostalgia. Like, we want to see Aang again. We want to see Roku. We want to see Kiyoshi. So that definitely, from that point of view, yeah, it's sad. But also, like, for her character, this sets up so many challenges, and this sets up so much growth and, like, development that the character can go through, which we see through books 3 and 4. Like 3 is like a perfect representation of not only recovering from, like, a physical like beating, but even, like, mentally. Like, Korra is broken in book 3, and we see her, like, mentally, like, slowly gather her pieces, because she is one avatar who has, like, whose self-doubt to me makes the most sense. Like, even when Aang had self-doubt back then, I'm like, yeah, I get it, because you're a kid and the whole world's burden is on your shoulders. So that's very, like, clear reasoning. But for Korra, her, like, dismay runs, like, because like, literally, tradition that has lasted for, like, millennia has been broken, because of which Korra's mental state is just shattered. So, like, to me, that did make sense. And yeah, I definitely see as to how that got done, because also, like, it wasn't like just one guy just comes and he's like, oh, I'm gonna take the avatar state away from you. Like, we had a huge battle, and, like, it was beaten, and like, Rava was beaten out of Korra. So, like, to me, that wasn't a big sour point for me, at least.
No, so I just disagree in one main point. Like, what you say makes sense for sure. Like, it does lead to more character development. From a writing point of view, there is a lot of potential ahead. But have you read the comics? Have you?
I have only read the Kiyoshi comic.
Okay, so there are also comics that go into the life of Avatar Kuruk, and they paint him as a very like a playboy type of figure who's always partying, who's always drinking, and he's seen as the worst avatar ever because he's always ignores his responsibilities. And then it's revealed later that this guy, I forgot the avatar before him, I'm so sorry, but yeah, the avatar before him basically messed up the spirit world completely. And what Kuruk was doing was he would go and he would set things right. He would basically be giving up his own soul to set the spirit world right again, and it would literally kill him. And he wouldn't want to include any of his friends or family into it, so he would hide it from all of them, and he would go partying as a way to distract himself from the torture that he was going through. So
Absolutely.
for me, I feel like when you are looking at the future, yes, you have a lot of potential to get new avatars, but I feel like you're losing out on the potential for past avatars, which, like how do you explain another avatar's life like Wan in any future Avatar series, because this connection is now gone. So I feel like while on one hand you are getting more potential, but the potential is always there even with the previous avatars existing, but you do get more potential, as you said, to start over fresh.
Oh,
but you are
sorry.
losing a lot of potential with the old one as well. He's going through the same problem I was going through when we
you were
first
doing.
podcasting.
Yeah.
This is not meant for, like.
Yeah.
There we go.
I
we're
have a
back.
Canon
It's back.
camera as well.
Yeah. So yeah, continue.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. You can go on.
No problem. Yeah. Yeah. So that's what. So I feel like the potential for future avatars was always there. This just amplified it by a bit by starting over fresh. But the potential of past avatars just ended right over there. And as a person who likes to write, I mean, I'm not a writer. I'm not a good writer, at least. But as a person who likes to write, I think that option of keeping the past as a way to just explore small stories, give people a look into the whole universe, is worth a lot more than increasing your potential for the future, because you always have potential for the future. Like the success of Avatar, like right now Avatar Studios has been announced, people are hyped as hell.
Crazy.
So
Yeah.
I'm not sure why they made that particular decision, because the comics all focus on past Avatars. So I'm like, why would you cut it off from the animation and keep it only in the comics? I just didn't agree with the creative direction for that particular moment. I mean, it's not a flaw with the story. They wrote it in such a way that it makes sense with the story, but I felt like the idea itself was not the best thing they could have gone for over there.
Yeah.